Hey everybody, welcome back to the Five Pines podcast. I'm your host, Jamie B. So today we're going to talk pop culture, okay, in a sense, because we're going to be talking about the biggest parenting fail that I think millennials and Gen Z are doing right now, and that is the epidemic of sharenting, and we need to talk about it, okay? All the way from Ruby Franke to Alana Harris, we have got to talk about this, okay? And I'm going to be really honest right now that I shared my children online on my Instagram. I was not like an influencer or anything, but I regret doing that because eventually someone hacked my account and now they have unprivated my Instagram and they have access to all of my children's photos and the archived photos on Instagram. So don't think that I'm coming to you with absolute perfection, but I will say that I went to school to be a child and youth worker, so I knew from a very young age what to share and what not to share on the internet when it came to my children. As in, like, I knew what CAS would use against me, okay? If we ever went to court for some weird paranoid reason, because that's what happens when you go to school for that. So anyways, we're going to talk about today the epidemic of sharenting and how truly I think it's going to be one of the biggest regrets of parents of children right now. Because tell me why, when we were young, we knew how embarrassing it was when our parents would talk to like our aunts or our uncles or our grandparents about our bad behavior. Now imagine your mom doing that and doing it for the entire internet, telling the entire internet your mistakes. Can you seriously imagine? I simply cannot grasp the fact that parents do not think about this, that there are people out there that make their sole living on talking about their children and their children's problems. And I do think there's layers to this, okay? Because we've got the Instagram moms who make their kids act, who will, like, I've seen behind the scenes of one of those, and their entire houses will be destroyed so that this one area of the house looks perfect, and then they make their kids act. And that's just, like, I feel like the first tier. Then you've got, like, the influencers who are consistently using, like, I'm talking consistently using their children in commercials. I honestly feel so bad for Instagram kids because people like DCP are there talking, and I think what he's doing is great, are talking about, you know, like the YouTube moms, but no one's had a real discussion about the toxicity of the Instagram mom, because the Instagram mom is like a Pinterest mom on crack, okay? And the things that they must do to make their houses look insanely perfect, I've seen people change the entire layouts of their house so that they fit an aesthetic for brands, okay? And that's, you know, that's just minimum of what people will do. You know, they'll change their entire wardrobes. They will not allow certain toys in their house because it doesn't fit their aesthetic. You guys, it's not a joke. People actually do that, okay? And then we've got the YouTube moms who, you know, there's different tiers of that even, you know, because we've got the Bonnie Holines who completely, and the Ruby Frankes and all of that, who exploit children for like their health problems and their puberty and stuff like that. And then you've got like crazy middles and crazy pieces who exploit adoption. Like, you would think after Micah Stauffer you would learn your lesson and learn that, hey, people don't like this much, okay? And then we've got the moms who are dead ass poisoning their children so that they can get clout from having a medically assisted child. That is where we need to be drawing the line and realizing that it should, if there's one time I believe in government regulation, and after knowing about the Dion quintuplets and stuff, I've become even more passionate about it, it's that children deserve privacy. I don't think a family photo every once in a while is a big deal, but to, like, we've also got moms who make their houses, like, you might not necessarily be exploiting your children, but you exploit the mess that you put your children through for views on TikTok, okay? And it's disgusting. I don't understand what you guys don't understand, because listen up really quickly here. I have an 11-year-old. And I cannot imagine if she was in like my vlogs, how much shit that would start at school. Because here's the thing, I am a small YouTuber right now. I used to have a bigger audience for Canada. It was like 13,000 followers on TikTok. But like I had millions of views on some of my videos, okay? But tell me why all of her friends know who I am. And thank God I don't exploit her. Thank God I don't talk about her. You know what I mean? And there was things that I was talking about that I stopped talking about because I realized that her friends were watching me. And like my daughter doesn't have social media because I've worked with children since I, went to school to work with children. And I know the dangers of social media, and it's just not worth it. If I could give any advice to parents, even if you don't want an unsolicited advice alert right now, please don't let your kids have social media. Please don't they will be crying and yelling at you because they're the only ones that don't have it. Wait till they're 16. Let them have it at 16, because then they're in your house for 2 more years and you get to help them navigate through that. But I'm telling you, preteens and teenagers cannot handle social media and the bullying and the insanity that comes with it. And whether that be predators or actual schoolmates being bullies, it's just, you let your kid come home and be at home, okay? I let my kid have Roblox like on a computer like the 90s in the fucking living room so I can watch everything that she does, okay? Oh, and have like your babies 3 years apart. That's the perfect age gap anyways. And then there was Franke, who was one of those mothers that you could tell that I don't think she liked her children. And just like the things that she would do, and she was so proud to upload, like not giving her child lunch and then hoping that nobody gets it. Because here's the thing, when Jody came in, I could tell that they were getting some sort of counseling because they used counseling and therapy speak. And some of her things that she was doing, I could see some of the logic there. Like, yes, the natural consequence is that of your daughter. First of all, Ruby needs to understand natural childhood development, because I don't think kindergartners have the ability to remember to bring their lunches to school every day. So that was like my number one red flag there. And then just her, like the natural consequence, okay, if your child was at an age where they are supposed to remember and it would be developmentally normal and they don't have anything going on with them, yes, the natural consequence would be that then she would have to get something from school, and she would learn that she would have to go around and ask, and it would be a whole big deal, and that she would remember to bring her lunch. But that's not what Franke said. No. She said, I hope nobody gives her lunch so she learns her lesson. I'm like, oh, first of all, your child is not of developmental age to be able to do that, okay? Number 2, that's not the natural consequence. The natural consequence would be that your daughter forgets the food and either has to call you to bring the food, and you have to bring the food, and it's, it would take longer, you'd have to get a lecture from mom, those sorts of things. Or mom's not home, because sometimes moms work. I've worked in a school, and then you have to go to the staff room and get a random lunch, and it's just a hassle. So that would be the natural consequence. Not getting food at all and then punishing with food. Don't punish your children with food, especially dinner. It's one thing to say like, hey, if we're good at the end of this trip, like I don't do it that much or anything, but if you're good, maybe we'll get something. That's one thing, okay? But to say, if you don't do that, you don't get dinner? Ruby, stop. What is wrong with these mothers? You are telling on yourselves. You are giving ammo for the courts to never give you back your children again. With a smile on your face, Ruby. And then we've got people like Kira Sivertson, who completely exploited her children for so long, broke up her family, exploited her family. They both exploited their kids, exploited the family, and then broke her family up to be with her nanny's husband. This is all online. She is absolutely in the delusional land where she thinks that none of this is going to impact her relationship that she has with her children. She thinks the real problem is people like DCP or people like me who make videos about her, when realistically her kids are going to grow up. You know, if they're watching this now, they should understand, Kira, you should understand that you should have safe searches on your children's tablets. They should not be able to see DCP. When my kids get home, I put on parental controls and DCP's videos don't come up. So even just the lightest of parental controls, your videos and your debauchery will not show up on your children's iPad. But you don't even do that. And you're not even sorry for what you did. That's why people don't like Kira, okay? And then she wonders why, how, where, everybody hates me. I can't believe it. They're all wrong and I'm right. And just watching the disgusting shit that she continues to put on the internet that like completely degrades, like every single thing that she says about Preston, it has to be a dig against their dad. And it's just, sometimes it's so much that that's why I make videos about, why I had made videos about her in the past, because I literally was like, Kira, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Like, especially when she would shit on her mom, her dead mother. I understand. You can have every feeling you want that's valid against your parents for what they did to you. But like, honey, a little self-reflection wouldn't kill you. I'm pretty much here to tell you that if anybody is willing to exploit their children with what we know now, I do think in the past, it was just a way to connect with other moms. I used to watch family vloggers. Okay, I used to watch Jess Fam. I had watched a couple of okbaby videos, but I wasn't like watching them all the time or knew who they were. Because when I was young and pregnant, it was so helpful to have other people. I would follow them throughout the pregnancy and then they'd have the baby and then I'd follow them. But back then, I don't think it was. I do think that people saw 16 and pregnant and then continued and did it on their own. But I don't think that every single person who started off as a family vlogger thought that they were going to make tons of money and have like the plan to exploit children. By the year of 2020, people were doing that plan. People have that plan. People change their entire lives to become mommy vloggers. People will have children to get content. It is not something that you can even comprehend when it comes out of the mouth of somebody, okay? Because in the background, they will admit it. They will tell you their plan. They will tell you how they did it, how they've been studying YouTube's algorithms and stuff like that. What they won't tell you is that perverts stop right. Like they have these, for a long time, family vloggers' comments were disabled. Do you want to know why? Because people were putting timestamps of when the children in the video would have their mouths open. They know that perverts watch their videos. At this point, it is 2025. There's absolutely no excuse to be exploiting your children at this point at all. Okay? And if you are sharing on social media, because I don't think if you have a small social media where it's your friends and family, I don't think that's a big deal. But don't make the same mistake I did and make sure you have 2 authentication factor on so that somebody can't take over your account and make your account public and steal pictures of your children, okay? Because even when I was in school, we learned about PDF files, okay? As part of we had to, it was the least favorite part of my course. But even back then, the first step of being a PDF file is watching non-sexual content and, to that, because in their minds, it's not as bad as what they actually want to do. And it's just like the first step. So when all of these family vloggers and mommy vloggers and influencers, like they no longer even have to look for things because moms just give it to people on a silver platter. Like Eleanor and Ren. We should know that if we see a music video of a baby, it's not entirely as innocent as you think it would be, okay? Because all of those saves are probably not from moms who just want that life, okay? So I am humble. I understand making the mistake. I've even like tagged brands and like just random pictures of my kids, like that they were wearing. Would I do that now? Absolutely not. Never. And I'm warning you guys to not make the same mistakes that I did, because I didn't share bad shit ever on my Instagram. I knew better. Okay. I genuinely knew better, But for all of y'all who have been sharing everything and anything about your children, I just need you guys to know that that might come back and bite you in the ass. And in this epidemic of people who don't talk to their parents anymore, because apparently something that a toxic trait my family has done since the beginning of time is now the new normal on how to handle conflict in your families. Think about if what you're sharing online is going, if your daughter or your son looks back on it, are they going to appreciate you sharing that? I used to take pictures of me breastfeeding and upload it, and I just thought it was normal. I would never do that now. I would never do that because I know that people fetishize that content. I had no idea. I was very young. I knew about certain things because I had gone to school, but the technology and all of this stuff had been rapidly advancing so much that I didn't know everything. And while we're here, I need you guys to understand that most of those couples are fake as too. Okay? A lot of these couples know that this gets them thousands of dollars, and they might not even like each other, but at least they're getting a brand deal out of it, so they bite the bullet and they just do it. I love watching family vloggers over time and watching like the dad participate in ads, and then you can like tell the moment that he's done with his wife's BS. Okay? Because dads, there are some horrible dads out there too. I'm not just saying this is mom. Jonathan Sicoli Jolie, that requires an entire video, okay? Matt Howard, you know, he annoys the shit out of me too with his exploitation. And if it wasn't for Abby putting down her foot, I doubt that they wouldn't be sharing the kids right now. I'm proud of them for doing that. Props to them for doing that. I got to give credit where credit's due, but the way Matt exploits their relationship really pisses me off, but Abby allows it. So with Sherry Franke releasing her book, I haven't read it yet because I want to go and actually buy the physical copy, but please go and read that, because if you're thinking about starting some fucking family channel, first of all, don't. And if you're having a child and you're thinking about sharing them, I would think twice. Okay, the internet is ruthless. Even putting my own life online, my own self, my own opinions, comes with an insane amount of backlash that you could not even imagine. I understand when people are like, people are telling me to kill myself. They do. They do all the time. I really cannot even count the amount of people who have told me to apply for MAID. All right. Because I'm voting for Pierre Poilievre, but I digress. That's not really the point of this video at all. But I also would love to move forward in Canada, like when the Conservatives get in, because it's not like anything can happen until then. Maybe, especially because I'm in the riding of the Dion quintuplets, maybe get some, you know, protection for children and their privacy and exploitation, because kids deserve to get paid for the content that you guys have already used them in, number one. And number two, they deserve to have a childhood that's free from their parents exploiting them. So yeah, I'm really hoping that I can rally some people behind me in North Bay area in Canada to honor the Dion, because when I heard the story about the Dion quintuplets, and I will make a video about that, but I feel very weird making a video about that, and you'll know why after. But after I found that out, I was like, you know what? This sounds like a good idea to, like, I can't believe we haven't learned from our mistakes in the past. So yeah, tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you guys think the biggest mistake of our generation is when it comes to parenting. And I hope you guys have a good one. See you later.